Welcome to Untold Physio Stories, a podcast that informs and educates by connecting you to rehab industry leaders who share their candid successes and failures in business and practice.
This episode of Untold Physio Stories is sponsored by Edge Mobility System. Edge Mobility System is your online site for everything a PT, OT, DC, MT, ATC, or fitness pro would need. Get certified in blood flow restriction therapy or training online. Check out our full modern manual therapy seminars, ISTM toolkit, Edge suspension trainer, portable tables, and more. Untold Physio Stories listeners can save 10% by going to edgemobsys.com. That's edgemobsys.com/untold to save 10% off their first purchase.
Edge Health and Tech Solutions. We do websites that work for you and give you an edge over the competition. Did you know that you have less than 10 seconds to capture someone's interest in your website before they click away? How about the fact that most people are accessing your website from their phone? Save thousands and get a fully mobile, appealing, and SEO-optimized website linked to your social media, email list, and Google My Business. All for one low price and no monthly fees. Why not keep doing what you do best in your business and allow us to handle the tech side? Let's get started. Find us at edgehealthandtech.com.
Welcome back to Untold Physio Stories. I'm one of your hosts, Dr. E, with Modern Manual Therapy, Edge Mobility System, and Modern Rehab Mastery, our hybrid online and live mentoring program. And with me, my co-host is Dr. Andrew Rothschild. How's it going today, Andrew?
Good, Erson. How you doing?
I'm great. I am well rested and stress-free after our last podcast.
Oh, excellent.
It's not because I took a nap, but it's mostly because I wanted to take a nap, but also I just love naps. I mean, I don't really take power naps. I take sleeps during the day when I had the chance. I remember when I first went with my wife, she's like, "You don't nap. You actually sleep during the day." But when I finally cleaned that up and I went plant-based, I didn't feel like I needed a nap. Before I was plant-based, I was always exhausted every afternoon. I had to have like 2, 3 cups of coffee a day. I had to sleep for like 2, 3 hours in the afternoon
Oh,
to
wow.
catch up if I wasn't working that afternoon. And, weekends, it was always a joke for people in a neighborhood that you don't disturb the religiosos between 2 and 4 p.m. because everyone is sleeping in the house.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you haven't listened to the last episode of what I called a stroke of genius of Andrew's best PT appointment ever, I think you should give it a listen. So I have a similar case to Andrew's from 2 episodes ago, the 13% of the time it happens every time. Yeah. And it starts off very similar. We all have our biases, and a local PT who was a student of mine contacted me for a current lumbar problem. It's been going on for at least, I think, 2 to 3 months or so. She's had it for several times in the past. It's always resolved just basically doing straight plane press ups on its own, usually within 1 or 2 weeks, and she's been able to go about her job as a home care PT. And this time, she just had severe radiating leg pain. I should also say that she had numbness and like a L5, L5S1 dermatome. Same thing with the pain. It was sharp. It was very bad at night. She could barely. She had a lot of disturbed sleep. Every time she rolled over, she would get sharp shooting pain. And she also had difficulty sitting, difficulty walking, weight bearing throughout the day. First session, I found she couldn't really tolerate side glides that much. I gave her kind of prolonged hips offset in prone. She was able to do that, and her symptoms were a bit better in weight bearing. She was able to weight bear better. So the recovery plan was basically uh, that along for 20 to 30 minutes a day, several times a day, go for 2 walks a day. I'm really big, especially with my spinal patients, to just break up whatever activity and positions are kind of triggering or sensitizing your system by going for 2 walks a day. And, you can combine that with listening to your favorite music or calm or headspace to kind of be mindful while you're walking, not let things add up and de-stress at the same time. I wanted her to hydrate and working on sleep hygiene was tough just because she really had difficulty sleeping just due to the pain. About 2 days into it, she said she was feeling better, but the roadkill wasn't quite working out as well. So instead, I kind of switched it to a lumbar roll position, and I had her involved side on the table or the bed, as opposed to what the traditional manual therapy would do, is the uninvolved side off to gap it. So we're trying to load that side, and she said that worked really, really well, and it really improved her hip pain. And along with that, in the walks, after about a week or so, she had almost no pain, um, or very minimal pain during all ADL. She was able to go about her day, able to go on her 15, 20-minute walks twice a day, and overall during the day, ADLs were very good. However, she still struggled at night. She still had a lot of that constant paresthesia and sharp pain anytime she would roll. So we worked on kind of bracing and lumbar rolling, log rolling, I should say, and that really helped. So we went about that. I also taught her how to do a little kind of light ISTM to the paresthesia. I gave her some sliders, peroneal sliders, which I thought would help. And if that didn't work, I also said, you can try some rock tape or kinito tape just to kind of further desensitize that continuous paresthesia area she had in L5S1. So we're about maybe two or three visits in. Again, everything's quite a bit better. She only has the pain at night. And I just kind of thought, well, what is the difference really? Like, what is the difference between a side lying position and all weight bearing positions? And I said, why don't you try, like, if you have a gait belt, try wrapping it around your hips as tight as possible and then, rolling around in bed to see if it would help. And she said, oh, yeah, I could roll to the left, but not to the right. So I said, okay, well, a gait belt doesn't really work as well as an SI belt. So, I gave her a break on my never to be sold, but I have a lot in stock and warehouse edge stability belt, which is basically like an SI belt.
Yeah.
And she got it. She got it maybe a couple days later, and she said it was like the first night she hasn't had that sharp pain
Oh, wow.
ever. Yeah, in months. So, and I think that the same thing that kind of threw you off, other than our clinical biases, and it actually happens less than 10% or 13% of the time, was that radiating pain, right? I mean, you don't typically see sharp, especially radicular. Hers was, as she described it, as a PT, L5S1 dermatome, um, plus pain or paresthesia below the knee. You typically don't see that in an SI presentation. It's more diffuse, right? Because it's not radicular.
Right.
It's usually not below the knee. So I think that's what really threw me off. But when I really thought about, what is the issue with loading? What exactly is getting sensitized? And it might have been just some sort of, pressure to her SI ligaments, or somehow her SIJ was getting sensitized via lateral weight bearing, essentially.
Interesting.
Yeah, so after wearing it, she was really happy and very grateful. I haven't had a follow up since then, in terms of she had better nights of sleep, but I know that she was very excited, and I thought too. Um, I might think that it is more common than 10%, or maybe there's other things that we can look at, especially if it's more of a unilateral loading issue, and you've tried all the lumbar unilateral loading. Maybe you should just try some simple belted stabilization and see if it helps.
Yeah, that's one thing I've learned too, just from my experience as well, is that I had sort of been too easily dismissive, I guess, sometimes. But I think that's a nice sort of, from a clinical pattern, like you just said, that unilateral loading that just does not seem to be responding to a lumbar direction preference as you would expect it to start thinking about other things potentially.
Right, and that's what the McKenzie studies showed from quite a long time ago. Is if unilateral or if repeated loading uh, is inconclusive or does not respond, basically just belt them. You can try your SIJ provocation tests, but
Right.
in a way, sideline like that and having severe pain is its own kind of SI provocation test. It's very similar to, like, I guess if you want to call it testing for in flare or out flare or
Or
whatever you want to call
even
it. I mean, yeah,
compression in a way.
yeah, yes, that's what I was looking at, because I hate the term in flare and out flare, because to me
Right.
it seems like so osteopathic and pathoanatomical. But yeah, SI compression and distraction. Yeah. All right, so you can find both Andrew and I at Modern Rehab Mastery. Our next cohort is starting soon. Check it out, modernrehabmastery.com. It's 4 months with 4 mentors, and we are starting in a week or two to date this podcast, end of September 2020.
Awesome.
Well, you can find me, Dr. E, at Modern Rehab Mastery. That's our new online mentoring program. It includes modern manual therapy, modern patient education, and modern strength training. It's 3 months with 3 mentors, so 1 month with each mentor, 4 weeks, tons of modules, lots of CEUs, learn at your own pace for a month, then move on. So go beyond the seminar. You also get chat room with your mentees and mentors, and live Q&As every week. Check out all my products, Edge Mobility System. We have the new Edge ISTM toolbox that includes the Edge Mobility Star and the OG Edge Mobility tool, our Edge Restriction System BFR cuffs. That's part of Dr. Kyle Coffey's Modern Strength Training BFR certificate. I hope to see you at a live eclectic approach course soon. That's Modern Manual Therapy in US, Canada, and South America. And make sure to rate Untold Physio Stories 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. You could also subscribe on Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and Spotify. And as always, you guys have an awesome day.